What's up YouTube? This is Ultra Rye, and today I'm going to do a different kind of video. GhostFace just released, and I know people are probably going online they're playing against him, and they're probably getting beat. So I'm going to go over his strings and how you should, defend against his strings, and how you should punish him if it's punishable. And this is going to be a beginner's guide because I've only labbed the beginner stuff. I go over strings, I go over specials, I find what's punishable, what I can punish with my character. And then from there, as I play people, I learn more advanced things, right? So let's start with his standing one, right? His standing one is +1. And off of standing one, he has 1, 2, which is -2, and 1, 2, 2, which is -5. Now there is no gap between the 1, 2, 2. There's no gap between there. But he also has 1, 2, 3, which goes into a low. Now, most of the strings that go into a low are negative in this game. This one is not. It's 0. So you got to understand that you and Ghostface move at the exact same time. So it's a close-up game. You guys do a 1. Who's going to do a down 1? Is someone going to backdash and whiff punish? So off of the 1, 2 string, unless you think he's going to stagger you, just block low, right? The only thing he can really do off of this for a special move is run into overhead, but you'll be able to see that coming if you just practice reacting to it. If not, you could always fuzzy guard it, right? And then he has a pretty standard down 1, and it's -8, so you can obviously down 1 him back. So then he has a standing 2, which is a high, and standing 2 goes into 2, 2, which is a mid, and it's 0, right? If he does 2, 2, that's 0. And 2 has some pretty decent range, right? Like, that's pretty good range for a standing 2. So 2, 2 is 0, so understand, if he staggers 2, 2, you are moving at the same time, right? Now, off of 2, 2, he can do 2 things. He can do 2, 2, 2, which is a high, mid, mid, or he can do 2, 2 into his 1 plus 3, which goes into his throw, and it's a high. So both of these have a gap. So if you think he's going to finish the string, you can just armor through it. So if he goes 2, 2, 2, armor, or if he goes 2, 2 to do the little throw stabby thing, you're good to go. Now, obviously, you could duck the 1 plus 3, but that's why he has the mid, right? No, that's not what I want. Okay. So if you go to duck this, then he obviously has the 2, 2, 2, right? So that's a little mix up there. Both of these are safe. 2, 2, 2 is -7, and 2, 2, 1 plus 3 is -4. So just know that. If you're playing Lime, you could technically punish 2, 2, 2, because you can punish 7 frame moves. So then we have back 2, right? This is his overhead, 20 frames, relatively fast. You're probably not going to react to this. It's on the slow end of reactable. Most people are not reacting to this, but it's -7, so it is safe, unless you're playing Lime, of course. And then we have forward 2, which is his mid, one of his mids. It's a slow mid, 18 frames, right? But it's -4. Forward 2, 1, which is a mid, and it's -6. And then you have forward 2, 1, 2, which is -7. So all 3 of these are safe, but it is kind of slow, right? But it does forward advance, so it'll be a decent whiff punisher for him. So just be on the lookout for this move. And no matter where he staggers, just know it's negative. Because forward 2 -4, forward 2 1 is -6, and forward 2 1 2 is -7. There is a gap if he finishes the string. 4, 2, 1, 2, and there's a gap, and you can punish it. Now, obviously, Li Mei can combo off of that. A lot of characters can combo off their armor move, so you'll probably get a full combo punish. Alright, so then we have a down 2, -4. We know it's a high, because everyone is a high. And then you have a standing 3, which is +3. Here's the thing, at low levels, no one throws out a 3 to be plus. You will see it at higher levels sometimes, right? They'll throw out a 3 to get plus frames, and then continue their pressure. Then we have back 3, which is his faster mid, right? This is 13 frames, and it's -7, and it goes into back 3, 4, which is his low, and that's -7. So, this is safe at -7, and then his low is safe. So, this does combo if you have Movado. Just know that, because it pops you up. I think it might be a Scorpion too. So just know that this is a popular string that they like to use because it's safe and it goes into a low, right? And obviously, they could try to mix it up like something like that, right? Like back 3 run into overhead. Kind of cheeky, but just be on the lookout, right? They might try something like that. And I believe there is no gap. If I took good notes. If I took bad notes, then yeah, so there's no gap in there. I have all this stuff written down, and this is what I do with every character. I write my stuff down on a notepad, so I can always refer back to it. So then we have standing 4, which is a high, -5, and then we have 4, 4, which is -3, and then we have 4, 4, 4. So this is high, high, mid, and then 4, 4, 4 is high, mid, mid, and it's -5. All 3 are safe. There is a gap though. So there's a gap between the second and third hit that you can go ahead and punish. So then we have back 4. This is just as low, right? It pops up. Be on the lookout. -7. It's the same as if you do it off of the back 3 into 4. But this is just back 4. It does pop up, so be aware it's -7. A lot of people like to throw this out there. It reaches pretty far too, right? A nice combo starter with the cameo. And then you have forward 4. This is his grab, right? It's a high. Let me show you. Just so you know, it throws you up and then you can combo off of it. So just be aware, and it is safe. At -6. And then you have down 4, which is, -10. And it's funny because some of his kicks, he actually uses his knife, so it's kind of weird. Like most down 4s would be a kick, so just be aware, right? Be aware that that's -10, so you can punish it depending on the range and the character. Okay, and now we know he has different stances, right? So if you go into Enforcer, he has a couple of strings, right? He has 2-1, which is a high overhead, and then he has 2-1-4, which is a high overhead low. Now, there is a gap between the high and the overhead, but it just resets neutral, right? And it just resets to neutral because he's in a different stance, and if you hit him, he goes back to the normal version. But he does have a high overhead low string, and the 2 is -5. If he stops at the overhead, he is -23, and if he does 2-1-4, he's -8, I believe. Yeah, he's -8, so you can punish it. As long as he doesn't cover with the cameo, because -8 is punishable, just do your standing 1. And then off of the assassin one, and just know his knife changes, right? So he has this big purple knife. And that's how you know what stance he's in. And then assassin, we have back 2, and then back to 1-1. This is an overhead, -7, and then back to 1-1, or back to 1-1 is -6. Overhead, overhead, mid, mid. There is no gap here, but it doesn't matter because it would just reset neutral anyways. But I'm just gonna show you. Oh, there is a gap, right? But it armor breaks. That's why I do it, right? But it's gonna armor break, and just be aware there is a gap, but you can't punish it. But try it out with your character, because maybe your character's armor move does punish it. So now we are going to go into his specials, right? Let's change this back to off. And, no, we don't want that. So he has a command grab, right? Half circle forward 1. And he can EX it. And the EX is actually a mid. So if I go to duck, right? You see my grab whiffs, right? But if I EX my command grab, it's gonna hit. So just be aware that he has an EX command grab that hits mid. And just treat it like any other command grab. I want you standing now. And then we have quarter circle back 3, which is this move right here. If he hits you with this, he's -21, so make sure you full combo punish him. He can obviously EX it, and it hits you with the first string and then the second string, right? So it hits you with a mid, so the regular one, as you can see, he doesn't hit you first. On the EX, he hits you, and then he follows it up, but it's still -21, so make sure you punish it. As long as you're blocking, you're good. And then he can hold back to stay on the same side, right? To attack from the same side. Or he can hold X to fake you out. So he can fake the attack. So just be aware that he might do something like that. So then we have his run. Quarter circle, forward 3, right? And he can just hold this, and it goes on for a while. Eventually it stops. As you see, I'm not hitting anything. And off of the run, he has a mid, right? It's -25. He can also EX it, but it's still -25, right? The 1. And it's a mid. He has an overhead, which is -5. And it's going to be -5 off of EX run also. So it's safe. And then he can stop it, right? He can fake you out. So maybe he's like 1-1 run, I don't know, and fake out. Just know that he can halt it. And then if he hits 4, he goes into his lay down stance. And he can EX this if he wants armor. There we go. And he can EX it, and that hits mid. So just be aware that he can go into his lay down stance from that. And that's really all there is off of the run. And then he has quarter circle back 4, which is where he's going to call this person in behind you, and it's going to be a mid, right? And it's going to push you a little bit closer to him. He can also do quarter circle back 4-2. And it's going to be a mid. No, it's going to be a high. So if he does the 2, as you see the animation, how he goes up in the air with the knife. So this is the regular one, mid -5. He has a high version if you hold 2, and it's only -1. And then he can also hold 4 and delay him back there, right? And then after the delay, he can, go into the mid. So just be aware that he can kind of delay and he'll sit back there and he'll go into the mid. And if he EXs it, it actually goes into a throw. And again, this throw is a mid. So, and there you go. He was ducking, as you see. My grab whiffs, standing 1 whiffs, but not this grab. Let's get you standing again. So then we have quarter circle forward 4, and this is this little down stance, right? So off a quarter circle forward 4, you can go into 1, which is a mid. You can also EX this, and this is an armor move too, right? So just be aware this is his armor move. He can go into 1, which is a low. I mean, not a mid, it's a low. The initial hit is a mid, but the one after laying down is a low. And it doesn't give me frame data on this, but just know that you can interrupt all of these, right? Like, there's no instant where he can do this on block and get another hit without you interrupting him, and I will show you that. And then he can also go into a 2, which is a throw. And obviously, if you're ducking, right, the throw's still going to hit, even if you're ducking. So, just got to show you that. Just be aware. And he can also EX the throw, and then it causes a restand. Oh my god. I promise you. Why isn't this working? Yeah. There we go. So it causes a restand, right? I don't know why it took me so long to get it. I'm not very good. But as you can see, it caused a restand. So just know that if he EXs it, it causes a restand. There we go. And then he can get a follow-up. And then if he holds 3, he'll crawl towards you. And 4, he'll get up, right? He can just get up. So just be aware of that. And like I said, the quickest one is I'm going to have Lee May do a down 1 on get up or reversal. And we are going to set the reversal on, and we are going to change this to recording. And as you can see, I can always get a down 1, right? If he does like the throw or whatever, you can actually get a full combo if you have something that like hits mid or low. But just be aware that you can always interrupt this, right? All right, let's put you back on enhanced chain reaction and turn you off. All right, so now those are all his specials while he's normal version, right? When he's an enforcer, when he's an enforcer, You can do, he has this quarter circle forward 1, and he can also EX it. It's a mid, and it's -7. It's a mid, and they're both -7, so they're safe. He can also do, like, he can do a Rekka off of this, right? So he can quarter circle 1, down 1, and it's a mid-mid. And then he can do a third string, that's a mid, and -7. All of these are -7, right? So we can do quarter circle forward 1, down, and he can do this little Rekka, right? He can stop it everywhere, but they're all -7. He can also EX, and he can EX the last hit too, right? So he can EX the quarter circle forward 1, and then the last hit also. And there we go. As you can see, I spent 2 bars, but if you wanted to, but it's all -7 at the end of the day, so it's safe. So just be aware he can stop this wherever. It's a nice little Rekka sequence. And then he has quarter circle forward 3, which is this little shoulder, -15. But the EX is only -5 with pushback, right? Like, you ain't punishing that. And you're going to have to see how to punish this with your character. I'm sure you can get a dash up standing 1. You might have an attack that forward advances. But if he does the regular shoulder, most characters are going to be able to punish that because it's -15. And then, like I said, the EX is -5, and it's just not punishable. But remember, this is only if he's in at enforcer stance, right? And then he has quarter circle forward 4, which is this little overhead, -6. But if he EXs it, it turns into a mid, or a high, I mean. It turns into a high, and it's -6 also. So those are all of his specials off of enforcer. And then, let's get him into assassin. So he has quarter circle forward 1, which is this little knife toss, right? It's just a regular projectile up close, so it's a high, and up close, it's punishable. Further away, it's not punishable, but you can just duck it because it's a high. If he EXs it, it turns into a mid, right? And he can, like, EX and hold it, and just keep on throwing stuff at you, right? He can just hold the EX, but each one takes a bar, right? So just be aware, he just can't sit full screen and, like, just sit here all day, right? It takes bar. So just be aware. But, you know, if you're in chip out damage, right? If you're in chip out damage, he might be able to sit here. He can also, you know, he can also hold it, right? The regular version too. He can hold it and then let it go whenever, right? So he can hold it, and he can also cancel this. So he can cancel it forward, and he can cancel it backwards. And the EX1 up close is punishable also at -18. And then he has an air version, right? -13, depending on how close he is to you, right? Like, that's -8. Back here is going to be -8 or something like that. -10. And then up close, -14. So you're just going to have to test your character and understand the spacing and punish it accordingly. But at the end of the day, even if you punish it, right? Even if you punish it, it just resets neutral because he's in his special stance, or he switched characters. And then he also has quarter circle forward 4, which is this, and it's -15. And he can EX it. It's a mid, and he can EX it, and it's -17. So they're both -17. And then he has this quarter circle forward 3, which is kind of like Kano Ball, right? And it's -23. Depending on where he does it at, you're definitely probably going to have to dash cancel to punish it, or use a forward advance in string. And then he has the EX version, which is -23 also. And those are all of GhostFace's string, right? He has a lot of really good staggers. You know, he has 2, 2, which is 0. He has, he has a decent string. Uh, Let me go back to my notes. He's just 1, 2, 3, which ends in a low and a 0, and he has really decent reach, right? But just understand the strings, where to block, if he staggers something, if he's plus, and where his gaps are. And I hope this video at least helps you understand his moveset and what you can punish and maybe help you set up a gameplay against him, right? I've only played against him a little bit. I haven't played against him since I actually knew his frame data. So it's going to be interesting when I play against him next time. I hope this video helped. Uh, and I appreciate the support, and y'all have a fantastic day.